What is quiet quitting and why does it matter? Well, the latest Gallup poll highlighted a trend that is happening that nearly 1 in 5 employees worldwide is loud quitting. That means actively disengaged and potentially harming organizational goals, right? So here's a quick breakdown of what this issue looks like. And here's a couple of strategies to combat it. So, loud quitting, we've heard of quiet quitting, right? When people are doing the bare minimum, right? Loud quitting is different. Uh, Loud quitters are employees who are actively disengaged. They're vocal about their dissatisfaction and they are emotionally potentially against their organization. Now, younger generations like Generation Z, they're taking their discontent to the streets, so to speak. They're getting on their social media platforms and they're sharing, really personal information about the organizations that they work for, right? They're talking about, doing research and finding out that maybe they're being paid less than their counterparts in different organizations. They might air toxic workplace culture in in a public way. They might have grievances against their managers, and they're sharing that. So this has the potential to impact your brand. For HR folks, it has the potential to really affect your ability to get future talent. So this is something that is quite serious, right? Again, quiet quitters are more passive, they're doing the bare minimum, but these actively disengaged loud quitters could potentially be undermining your goals and damaging your brand. And I think that's something that, makes you want to stand up and take attention to. And so that's why this matters. Loud quitting combined with quiet quitting affects nearly 77% of the workforce. Now, stop to think about that 77% of the workforce. What does that mean in terms of your company or your organization? Are people actively disengaged or simply disengaged? And what does that mean to your bottom line? What does that mean to service? What does that mean to products development? What does that mean to innovation? What does that mean to you if a large portion of your organization is actually disengaged? And this is a trend that, disengagement is not new, okay? That number has hovered in the 70% for years now. And I think it's incumbent upon organizations and companies to do something about it. Employees want a different relationship with their employers. Low engagement costs of $8.8 trillion dollars on the global market. That's 9% of the global GDP. So we're not talking about pocket change here, and it's costing your organization as well. Now, let's guess what the root cause of this disengagement is. Poor management. Yes, management accounts for 70% of the variance in team engagement. And there's some common triggers that are mismatched roles, loss of trust, feeling undervalued. Again, these things are not new, but organizations have often failed to address them. What leadership should be asking of their managers? As a person in a leadership role, you should be concerned about this, and you should be asking your managers a few key questions to help to build engagement. Ask them, how are you actively building engagement with each member of your team? For those people who have large teams, it might be difficult, but there is always an excuse for why they're not able to connect more on a personal level with their teammates and the folks that they are managing. Are you having regular one on one conversations with your team members? You would be surprised at the number of organizations and departments that do not conduct regular one on ones. It's an opportunity to connect in a real way with the people that you manage. There is always an excuse, and I say an excuse why managers are not conducting regular one-on-ones. They're dealing with crisis, there are other priorities. But when you don't prioritize your relationship and the growth and demonstrating the value to your employees that they have to your goals and to the mission of your company, you end up with disengaged employees and some who are going to loudly quit, and that's going to impact you in a very negative way. So, how often are you providing feedback? How often are you providing recognition? How often are you discussing goals? Do you understand members' strengths and goals and their challenges? These are the questions that leadership should be asking of their managers. How are you leveraging the knowledge that you can gain from these kinds of interactions to align with the roles and responsibilities of the folks that you are leading? Another question that you could ask from a leadership point of view or is how are you fostering trust and a sense of value within the team? A lot of employees these days do not trust their companies. They don't trust management. What actions are you taking to show you care about the well-being of your employees and their growth? People do not want to be in a position that goes nowhere. They want to know that you are invested in helping them to grow and to become self-actualized. Are you empowering employees to have a voice in their work? Not, we can't always allow the employee's idea to, to come into fruition, but there are some areas where we can have some latitude where we can be a little bit flexible and we can be innovative in allowing them to have some input. So by asking these questions, leadership can ensure that managers are taking a proactive step in terms of addressing disengagement to reduce quiet and loud quitting and to create a thriving workplace, because at the end of the day that's what you want, and I think that's what people want. They want to be in a place that is thriving. So some key one key thing is to do is to have weekly or as regular as you can meaningful conversations. Managers should be connecting with each employee, sharing feedback, recognizing their contributions, discussing goals and growth and priorities for you as well as that employee. And these types of conversations, real conversations, see, employees are not feeling a connection to their employers these days. It feels very transactional. But when managers take these types of steps, have these types of conversations, it builds trust, it fosters engagements, and it helps employees feel valued, right? So these are just a few things that leadership and managers can do to uh, to reduce the incidence of quiet quitting and loud quitting. The last thing you want is someone on a megaphone on their social media platform explaining and sharing and sometimes quitting on camera, and talking about some of the shortcomings or what they feel are shortcomings in your company.